And so in the end, I said, no, you get on your knees. Oh, shit.
That's true.
I'd like to remind you that my mum watches this bit. Dean.
And I'd like to remind you that I've asked you to stop telling that story to people.
Hello! Welcome to the technically 4th season of Gil and Vale's adventure, Jarviskjir Mother's Love, where we're going to continue from last week. How's everyone been?
I've been good.
I've been salty.
Yes.
He has been salty.
He has.
I've been doxy.
You've been in the bath.
I did take a bath. It was really fun.
Live tweeted a bath. It was great.
Did a garbage job of washing my hair and had to take a shower last night, and I'm really upset about it. I feel like the crypt keeper today.
Yeah! I respect that. That's how I feel most times. So,
How have you been, Ollie?
me? Well,
Got him with the fastball.
well, that doesn't matter. Because what does matter is the next episode of Jarviskjir A Mother's Love. I nearly said Here Be Heroes. It nearly happened.
Oh my god.
I nearly typed it earlier as well. For some reason, my brain is in Sunday. But it is very much Wednesday.
Who's playing which character?
No.
No.
There's just a whole no there.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, there's no direct comparisons. No one can...
I'll play everyone.
Alright, no, this is how...
Yes, please!
Okay, so it would be... Neil is obviously playing Barut. Dean is obviously playing Virik because the only person close to the cheeriness of Tesh is Dean. Which leaves Ian playing Aelinor and Indira playing Tobias. Done. There's the canon.
Are you offended that Ollie just called me cheerier than you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the bubbly one.
You said cheery, not bubbly.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a total
Yeah, I guess
difference, my dude.
I'm bubbly about our inevitable demise.
The heat death of the universe.
I'm dark bubbles.
Oh!
I'm like bubbles in.
Was that a Powerpuff Girls episode?
I was gonna. That's like it's like an OC. Do not steal. But what you shouldn't steal is what happened last week. You went to the island of Shorebow, where Indira has unfinished business. She wants to kill the lady of the island, a lady named Killraven, who is basically a slave master, owns a large plantation on this island. You found out that the island is planning a shipment in 3 days of sugar and drinks and pretty much everything the island makes. Off to Goldport. That's going to be the deal of the century. So you want to basically fuck everything up before that goes on. You had Old Vale and Gilwyn trying to decide whether they should or shouldn't kill this person, and ending up deciding, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway. And you also bought a bunch of magical items to prepare to do so. As day turned to night, you noticed a commotion on the only other ship at dock. The only other ship. There are smaller fishing boats and things. The Goldport vessel that's kind of keeping watch. And you have rushed over to that ship to see what's going on. We start with Gilwyn and Vale running to the other vessel, where Indira jumps off the side of the ship and swims underneath. Indira, you notice there's a small hole, a human-sized hole in the bottom of the ship as you're swimming under. Because you can see, in the moonlight under the water, you could easily... Whatever entered this ship came in through there.
Okay. So I would tuck and just let myself get...
Yeah!
sucked on in.
Hell yeah! You can tell Doxy is a person who actually cares about pirates and ships and things to even think about that. You do so, and you see the lower sort of storage deck of this ship just slowly sinking. It's not like that's been done deliberately to sink the ship, but the sinking of the ship is a happy accident by whoever is causing chaos here. You hear the sound of battle and magic up above. Which is exactly what Vale and Gilwyn hear as you are trying to enter from the top deck.
Probably some maniacal laughter as well.
Probably some cackling. Yeah. As you both
Would I
enter...
recognize that cackling?
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
All right.
As you guys both enter the sort of middle deck, you come to see a scene of carnage, which, Ian, you may describe.
Well, okay. So what you see, like bodies strewn everywhere. There's bits of what look like almost sea mist like shadow floating around the bottom of the on the surface of the deck, and in the middle of it there is a mermaid. Although, apart from Indira, a mermaid that none of you that looks very different to any mermaid either Vale or Gil would ever have seen. Most mermaids you've seen, they're very brightly coloured. They're very innocent looking. This mermaid is like a dark version of that. She's got it's rather than that innocent happiness, it gives her an aura of almost like dark temptation. Her scales are very fine and dark purple, almost turning black by the tip of her tail. She has long, lustrous black hair, very fine and sculpted facial features, reminiscent of beautiful nobility. Eyes that are nearly black in colour, and there's very little white visible. You would realise after a couple of seconds, Gil and Vale, that this is definitely the person you saw on a wanted poster the other day, because she has that, what you thought was a crown when you saw the poster it's actually a fin, but it looks very similar to a crown or tiara. Other features, I mean, she's slender and elegant as you'd expect a mermaid to be, and a bit on the taller side, although because a lot of that height is in the tail and the way she's having to effectively use her tail to stand, she's actually looks a bit shorter than she is.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that, like, mermaids on land kind of move like a snake-like lamia or something.
Yeah.
They kind of use all the muscles in their tail, so she would be, like, kind of curled back on herself a little bit.
Yeah. And as you watch, there's occasional wisps of those same mist-like shadows that seem to be, like, evaporating off her body, seemingly coming from between the scales. The last thing you would notice is she sort of turns to look at you. There's a birthmark around her belly button. It looks like a crescent moon with, you know, on a stylized sun, how you have the sort of sun rays coming off it. It's like the crescent moon surrounded by those rays off the sun. She's wearing very minimal clothing. It's just a pair of silvery seashells over her chest and a fairly short sarong-like cloth of a similar color tied around her waist.
Which, I'll add, in other mermaids you've seen, rarely wear any clothes. Mermaids and Triton, unless it's armor, don't really wear clothes.
Yeah.
Didn't even think to talk about that while you're spending a bunch of time with them, because that would definitely bother Vale, but still.
Yep. She's still not wearing much, but it's a bit more than most mermaids you've seen. And it, as has already been described, just a scene of carnage. There's bodies around everywhere. She's just like probably holding someone up and just like grinning at them when she turns to look at you. And she just says, "Ah, Indira, so you heard the rumors as well. I thought I might find you here. It has been, well, we seem to run into each other periodically. It has been too long, my dear, and you have such lovely company this time." And she looks at Vale and Gil, slowly looks up and down, licks her lips. Still holding this poor.
He's like his face is blue and his like hands are very weakly trying to go with the hand around his neck.
Indira would be like, "Oh," and then she'd be like, "Yeah, with me, like actually with me, not like, hi."
The same as ever, I see. Chucks the rat sailor away. And then slowly moves up to you, gives you a big hug, please, you must introduce me to your companions. I trust they've been.
Please help us. Someone on the ground,
Oh,
not
shut
quite
up.
entirely dead.
You pathetic fool.
Yeah, I
Stop
think
interrupting
Indira
the
would
moment.
actually take her great axe and like spam the ground like next to a dude like crying. Be like, yeah, okay, so Vale, Sun Elf, good with a sword. Gil, Bard, good with a lute. This is Serena, a very old and dear friend. So you're here for the same reason I'm here.
Yes, well, I heard the rumors, about.
Our unfinished
What's her name? Lady Kilraven. What was it? Kilraven?
Lady, kill me, please. Let's go.
Yes, that's quite so. But yes, Vale Gil, I trust you have been looking after Indira. If any harm were to befall her, it would not be pleasant. Yes?
Serena, you and I both know I've been looking after them.
Quite true, quite true. Still, I need to give a formal introduction, I suppose. As Indira has said already, I am Serena, chosen daughter of the Empress. That makes me a princess. You would do well to remember that.
Right.
Would.
Well, Vale like gives Gilwyn a side look, and he's like, "So, we kind of came down here because we heard commotion, but it looks like it's all really quite in hand. So I think maybe and he like looks at Gil. Maybe we just go back up top deck. As everything is in such good hands here. We are no longer needed. And we have things to do."
Certainly, I will accompany you back above decks. I will accompany Indira. at
Oh,
least
right. No,
until her
Indira actually, she has to stay hidden. So, like, me and Gil, we're going to go top deck. Yeah, so that's, maybe you could have a seat down here. Maybe there's some.
We're gonna have to wait for the boat to sink and then swim out the bottom.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you two have the swimming thing in hand. So we will just, and he like backs up.
Serena just looks to Indira. Is he normally the nervous type?
He'll warm up to you. It'll only take a couple months.
I look forward to getting better acquainted with him.
My boat's right over here, so all we can really
yes,
do is sit
I've-
and wait.
I've missed the old Scarlet Dawn. It's been... Yes, I was up in the northern lands for too long accompanying that last ship. It'd be nice to be on a more familiar boat again.
You're always welcome.
As Gil and Vale like walk off the ship that's slowly sinking into the docks, just like bubbling, you two need to have a little chat as you get back to the boat? Or are you just kind of walking in like silence? Dean, you're muted. Naughty lad.
Oh,
what? Sorry.
Good thing I didn't say anything. I don't think Gil would just be like, "What the fuck's just going on?"
Yeah.
He'd be very quiet.
Fair.
So, the name and the face. I think maybe we could double our profit. You know what I mean?
You want to involve the fish person, in our scheme.
She is a princess. Best you remember that.
Oh yeah, sorry, Princess Fish person.
And so it is even funnier when we trade her in as bait.
She was holding a man with one hand. I can't do that.
There,
You can't do that.
I probably could. if it was a small enough man.
I don't think it's the best first impression to sell a woman we've just met. Even if we don't really mean to sell her.
But yes, I suppose. But what if we meant to sell? No, I think that's worse.
This is an unknown element. I think we should put the plan on hold until Indira kind of lets us feel her out, feel the fish woman, the princess, until she.
But what if? Now follow my train of thought, because it is really, really simple actually. What if Indira is super crazy, and then Serena comes into the mix, and they multiply that crazy, and she becomes ultra crazy, and she just charges through the town with her axe, just hitting things.
Are you implying that just by Serena's arrival, Indira will throw caution to the wind and just charge and kill?
I mean, she's
Surely now she has. Well, one, she has somebody else to back her up, and two, she has like reason to remain a little cautious now.
she's literally standing on a sinking ship. No sane person does that. Fish or no?
That's true.
So we go and play a game of cards and
Yeah.
wait for them to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Should we go, below deck somewhere that it will take her a little while to find us?
It feels weird to enter a vessel that just moments ago we witnessed her begin sinking one.
Oh, right. Yes. What if she does the same to our ship?
For a laugh. No, wait, it's she wouldn't do that to Indira's ship.
Probably not. That is not the feeling I get. But if she does, we sell her.
Okay.
Oh.
She scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, she scared me as well. I found the fins a little bit disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's not,
Okay.
you know?
Okay. It's not my way to tell you what to do, except that it is. But don't bring that up. Don't say that word to Indira or to her. Please don't.
Gilwin,
Bale,
I am
seriously.
fantastic with the ladies. I would not say something of the,
Yeah,
something of
sorry.
that sort.
I keep forgetting them. I keep
But,
forgetting.
I wasn't. But then we did all that role playing, and I spent the time with Amelia and the.
I'm gonna cut this conversation off because it's gonna keep going forever.
No, please don't.
Not because I'm sure Indira and Serena are having equally as interesting conversation on the sinking
Yeah, sorry.
ship.
Okay, so Indira would just like indicate the hole and look up at you, and then look at the hole and then up at you and be like,
What is going on?
impressive.
I was minding my own business, swimming around the island, deciding what best to do, and some of the sailors aboard this vessel seemed to take offense to that, you know? Shouted something about a bounty, tried to throw a net at me. But
How degrading.
yes, quite. I felt they needed to be taught a lesson. I think they've been taught a lesson, quite effectively.
I've never known so much pain. Pyth, help me.
Again with the axe.
Oh, yeah.
Serena just laughs.
There are many lessons to be taught on this island.
Yes, quite. I heard it was still as bad as when we killed the Lord. Is that true?
Yeah, did you know he had a wife? He sure didn't behave like he had a wife.
They're all the same though. They lack an appreciation of beauty. They cannot. People do not revere them, so they purchase slaves instead to try and get something approximating it. It's truly pathetic.
You'll find my companions are quite different.
Oh, really?
Very
That's
honorable men. I think that you'll like them very much.
excellent. Yes, they are certainly quite lovely to behold. At least, rather fine specimens. You should have let me know earlier. Well, I suppose I was making my way back from the north. It would have been difficult, but I would have come back. I would have made double time if I'd known.
It's been hard to contain myself. I'll be quite honest. One is quite good at sparring, so you might be able to get a little bit of practice in if you wanted. And the other is just amazing all around.
Oh, to hear you say that piques my curiosity even further. So, do you have your eye on one in particular, or should we share them both?
Indira contemplates that for a second, and she's just like, no, my heart belongs to the bard.
You always were one for the more gentle souls. Very well, then.
What kind of girl doesn't like poetry and flowers?
Well, the elf, he certainly seems unusual. I look forward to seeing what can bring him down.
He might be too sweet for you, Serena.
Really? Well, they're always sweet until I'm done with them.
At that point, the ship creaks quite heavily, and it's reached the sort of critical mass where the ship just starts sinking kind of all at once, and you can easily slip out under and whisk your way back to the Scarlet Dawn.
Shall we find ourselves in more
comfortable
surroundings?
The sounds of dying fools is a pleasant accompaniment, but I prefer more surroundings I'm more familiar
Please,
with.
I don't want to drown. I have a wife.
She just flings a bolt of shadow at him.
You could have been a hostage, Serena.
Yes, I suppose I should probably think about those things a bit if we're going to be attacking the manor or whatever. But oh well, I doubt he had any value.
Too late now. And she'll swim through the hole.
Yeah.
towards
Swim back to your ship under the cover of darkness. It's night. It was this kind of conversation thing was happening when in the last hours of daylight. Now it is lit. You're lit by nothing but the stars and whatever lanterns you wish to light. You two can get back upon the ship. Vale and Gilwyn are playing cards somewhere. Definitely just playing cards. Not got any stresses or any thoughts in their heads at all.
Serena, once back on the ship, would just say, so are we resting overnight, Indira? Or are we moving for early?
I think that's up to the boys. I haven't really given you our plan yet. So I don't know how much you're gonna like this. But it's a good plan. It's a smart plan. I think that our plan of action here is that these boys are going to turn us in. They're going to turn us in, and while that's happening, we're going to burn the records. And once the lady feels secure, we'll strike while the iron is hot.
Yes, I suppose that is a reasonable plan.
Are you willing to be part of the bounty? We could get some money out of it.
It is probably the easiest way for me to get close to her. I will accept. I cannot say I'm entirely happy with it, but, well, you know how it is. Moving across land is always so tiresome. If I was brought there instead, it would make things rather easier.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
That wouldn't look right, would it?
Probably
One
not,
prisoner
unfortunately.
carrying the other.
And it would be a waste of magical energy for me to fly or anything similar. Yes, I will instill a degree of fear in them so they do not mistreat us. And yes, that seems reasonable.
Hopefully we don't give them an opportunity to mistreat us.
If they even try, then there might be an abrupt change of plans, shall we say.
It's important to me, Serena, that none of the innocents die.
Of course, Indira. I appreciate your morals.
Looks at Goldport ship.
Anyway, in that case, if that is the plan, let us. Well, those two seem to still be up. Should we join in their game?
Indira would like knock on the door jam.
Like Gilwyn like snaps and just stares at his cards. Phil here. Oh god.
Oh, this game is really intense. Playing with our dead friends' cards is very emotional, and we need time to process this.
You have any twos? There were never any twos.
Go fish. I mean,
Serena does. At that, she does turn to Indira and say, "Dead friend, is there a story there?"
quite. I don't feel fit to tell it, but I do think maybe you should go and find yourself comfortable, or find a place to make yourself comfortable, while I ease these guys into our new reality.
Certainly. I'll do the normal, and Serena wanders off. And if you paid attention to where she eventually goes, she basically, when she gets there, she just waves a hand, holds a hand low, speaks a few words, and raises it slowly, like as if commanding something to rise. Shadows flow off her lower half, pooling and coalescing in front of her, and just form into what looks like a throne made of coral, in turn made of shadow. And she just takes a seat there and lounges. Yeah, very much so.
All right, I'd slip into the quarters where I assume they share a bunk, right? And that's where you guys are, probably hanging out in your quarters.
On crates with a barrel between us.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
So that's Serena.
Mm-hmm.
I've known her since I was a little girl.
Yeah, we knew her since a little bit earlier, actually.
Mm-hmm.
She's another wanted criminal.
Well,
Yay!
only in the same way that I am. We've been traveling together for months. When have I ever hurt you?
She seems to revel in her criminality.
Yes, that was quite unnecessary what she did to that Goldput fellow. He asked for mercy. I could see Gilwyn in that man.
She gets excited.
And just
They cast a net at her. She was fighting for her life.
Nets are something you use in combat on land as well.
It's a little different, isn't it?
I mean, she's in the water. You're not going to swing an axe at her or throw an axe at her.
Fairly certain I saw harpoon guns there, but I digress.
Wait, so you're telling me you're more annoyed that they netted her and didn't harpoon her?
It's degrading.
So you would be happier if they had speared her?
No. No. This is getting away from us somehow. Gil?
I was just going to ask if you had any sevens, but you carry on.
I have too many sevens, actually.
Give me, please.
5 sevens.
Listen, this is good news. She likes the plan. Well, she's not crazy about the plan. She agrees to the plan.
Which plan?
More hands,
Where?
make less work.
Just so we are clear. Which plan?
Where we turn us in and then kill the widow, burn the records.
You know, that sounded really good for a little while, and then at the end, I just noticed something that I feel like is maybe me and Gil maybe had some qualms with, you know.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, you know, I think I speak for us both when I say that me and Gilwyn do not necessarily feel it is entirely necessary to burn down a records building.
Okay. Continue. Elaborate.
Is so I is there more to elaborate on that one?
I don't know. I will say, put my hand down. I do remember you saying you would ban it for Indira Vale, just to play devil's advocate.
That's what I recall as well.
Fairlight looks up from checking Gil's hand. You know, I did, but I was going to go then, and now is now and not then. So really, is now then word applicable? That's translated better in Elven.
Indira will pull up a crate and sit down on it and grab a hand from each of you and be like, listen, we're a team and I don't want to move forward until we're all agreed. I'm not going to make you do things that you are vehemently against. This is something that's important to me, and I will do it with or without you. Your help would be really appreciated, but if you can't do this for me, that's fine.
Oof. Well, you know, there were some nice words smattered in between the guild trip there. I suppose we will do it. We said we would. I just, me and Gilwyn trust you to have our back, Indira.
And I always will. Always.
We do not trust Princess Fish over there.
If I ask her to have your back, she will have your back.
Right. Now that's nice, but I still do not trust her. A captain may ask someone to have my back, and this is actually a situation that has occurred before. And he tried to stab me with a rusty dagger. He did not even sharpen it. Glanced straight off my armor. Like, how stupid do you get? I mean, you know, not that it was... If it was sharp, it may have gone through, but...
If you want to carry on the plan without Serena, I'm sure we could leave her on the ship. I feel that the bounty will be higher. I feel that it will be easier to make our way in and out with another set of hands.
Okay, but if I'm Killraven, I would buy a skinny, measly little human bard capturing one person, but two.
Yes, but you have an amazing Sun Elf warrior next to you.
Are you coming with us then? Or I thought you were.
Gilwyn, I'm not going to leave you alone in there, especially not with Serena. We can deal with the records at... I can't think of a pun. I was trying to think of something to do with records, but...
Okay.
Gilwyn has made a valid point. You know,
What if you two turn in Serena and I burn down the building?
You know, I feel like this is the bit that I feel like it's not needed. You know,
It's how it's done, Fail. Somebody else will just find the building and continue to work the slaves.
You know,
we have to burn the records.
You know, I heard a lot of that in my younger years, even younger years, you know. Oh, you have to hold the sword like this. You have to pray like that. You have to get up in the morning at 2 a.m. every morning for
And-
prayers.
Prove them wrong, you did in your own profession. This is mine. I know this. This is
Right.
my wheelhouse.
Okay.
The reason we're here is because I didn't do it the first time. I was young and new and sloppy.
I like you a lot, Indira, and I am indebted to you. So I will help you with this, but I will not burn the building.
That's fair. I'll do it. And I like you a lot too. And you are not indebted to me. Neither of you.
You know the whole part about being here and not drowned in the sea. It affects that a little bit, you know. Like we would both, like I'm not saying we would 100%, but 99% we would be dead without you.
I mean, you would be dead without me, but
Wow.
I would be in debt to myself if I hadn't pulled you back.
That sounds very bardic of you. So what is the plan? When do we intend to go? Tonight? Tomorrow? I would say tonight.
Tonight.
We caught Serena and you in the sinking ship.
The commotion is enough to have everybody a little bit off guard, I think. Seems like a very good time to act.
We need some manacles. Or rope, I suppose.
How about they're just both so charmed by my magic? They can't look away from me. They'll do anything I ask.
As long as you don't have
right.
too much fun with that, Gil, I think that's a really, really smart plan.
You walk along just strumming your lute and they follow. I like it. That's cool. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to do whatever he says, Indira, or it is, you know.
Oh, I know. I'm
For all
ready.
of us.
Make sure Serena knows that.
I will. She's not gonna like it, but she'll do it.
Not
I
a
feel
step.
like this is why the plan is so good. She won't like it. Make sure, Gilwyn, you call her princess, but like, meanly, you know, mockingly.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that part.
Why do you want to anger the woman who scares us both?
You have nothing to fear in Serena. You have nothing to fear in her.
Typically, if you have to persuade somebody to not be scared of something, there's probably fear to be found in it.
Well,
That's what
I mean,
I found.
if you weren't with me, and if you were doing anything to disrupt the equilibrium of the sea, then sure, be terrified. But you're with me, and you're good men, and she'll see that.
I'm not a man. I am an elf.
Right. Get the princess, we're going.
All right.
That's cool. I like that she's a princess, actually. That's cool. We can say stuff like that now.
You amass top deck. What's the plan?
Okay.
At this point, you can see like 6 or so guards, a mixture of Goldport navymen who were on land and the island guard, are kind of amassed around the sunken ship on the dock,
right.
so blocking the way.
You focus on saying your incantation and strumming and singing away quietly, and I will shout for everyone to make way for the great and powerful bard Gilwyn Gallogher is coming through, and that none must disturb.
My name?
Maybe we don't use his name.
Wingil Geargallo.
Serena actually laughs out loud at that.
Gallo win Gilgear.
My dear, why not use a completely different name?
Well,
Peter Floinkin. Shout that out.
Peter Floinking.
Floinkin. No G.
Foin.
Floin.
Floin.
Kin.
You realize how difficult that is to say because
Exactly.
Of yes.
Go ahead.
Serena puts a hand on Indira's shoulder. Where did you find these two? They're brilliant.
Would you believe if I said heaven?
Quite possibly.
Vil.
Peter Floinking.
No, Kin.
That is what I said.
One more time.
Peter Floinkin.
There we go. Now, Vale, seriously, because I'll be charming these two ladies, you
Yes.
need to do most of the talking.
Yes,
'cause
that is
that-
fine.
that-
I'm very charismatic.
Yes, you are.
Then what are you worrying about?
I'm just making sure we have our roles.
Okay, good. You two can't say anything though. You're
Right.
charmed. Try to look sort of glassy-eyed or ruby-eyed.
Don't fraternize with the prisoners.
Right, yes.
As you start to get going, it's a particularly windy night, actually, which, like, as you start your little bit of a ruse, and please describe how you do that, Dean, in a second. Literally the guards are kind of, like, talking. It's like, was it, like, really bad wind? Did it knock the boat into the rocks? Or like, they're trying to work out what's going on, and they're all incompetent town guards, so they have no idea.
Because I have done charm person like twice already.
Yeah.
I will get as close to saying it correctly as I can, but mispronounce maybe a couple of phrases
Flam.
Yeah. I get you.
as I strum with my lute.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I will use Indira's harp.
Cool. As you get close to the guards, they do turn, and then both like nearly all of them realize who the two people behind, like those wanted posters are posted all over the town. What do you do, Mr. Vale?
Vale raises his hands. Stand back! Make way for the great and powerful Peter Floinking. This magical extraordinaire has captured the two misfits that has escaped your rabble for so long. However, I must say that any disturbance to him or the prisoners may result in an awful amount of carnage. So, make away!
Please give me a deception roll. I'm so tempted to give you it with disadvantage because you mispronounced the name, but I know that's the meme. But I won't.
That's guys. I'm real bad at deception.
I should have given you inspiration.
Should have done. Bad bard. Bad boy. Where's Knight? Need that enhanceability.
The guards are more just confused, and then very quickly the ones who are actually from the island, you kind of see some of them are wearing more simple like leathers and gambesons, whereas a couple are wearing a chain, and they actually push, and they will try to push past you. Vale be like, all right, we'll take.
Okay, you caught me. I was telling a lie. This is not Peter Floinking. This is Gilwyn Gallowgear.
I cringe.
You can give me a persuasion roll. Diffuse the situation.
Oof.
They kind of look at you like a little strangely, and one of the guards in the back's like, "Yeah, it's the Gilwyn Gallagher's ship." Like, okay.
My employer asked me to not spread his name. His sort of bounty hunting alter ego is not well known. And he intends to release it in an autobiography later in life. So if you could all stay quiet about it, that would be great. Perhaps if you could form up and escort us to whoever we will turn these bounties into, that would be really fantastic, actually. Because, he is charming them right now, but I understand that one has shadow magic. And it literally rips your ass out of your face.
The guards kind of look back to each other, and the ones who are Tranite kind of talk in a little bit of like Tranite slang. The dialect's a little bit different. Indira, who's the one who's most best at talking, like you can tell they're basically like trying to work out if they believe this, but ultimately they decide, the ones in armor are like, all right, we'll take you to the manor. If this is to wake up Lady Kilraven, then it will be your heads, but I think she'll be happy to see the prisoners.
I'm sure she will get some heads today. Probably not mine, though.
Yes. And they will escort you through the town. The town is actually still, there's a little bit of activity. You see a little bit of scenes where they have the sort of open warehouses near the docks where a mage of some kind is casting a purification spell on like the crates and sacks of sugar that they have to get rid of, so it'll be safe for the journey and stuff like that. And they start leading you into the town, then to the gate, up the hill, through the plantation, towards the manor. And as you're walking, the guards like changling in the chainmail, and the couple of feathers that are in their armor, because they're Tranite, they still have some crazy fashion, bounce, and he will turn like, your extravagance, I would tone that down in front of the lady. I understand a need for showmanship in your career. She will not appreciate it.
Well, as long as she pays, that's what we care about.
Oh, she'll pay you all right.
Like in gold, because that sounded a little bit ominous.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. She will pay you in gold.
Cool, good.
Yeah, sorry for the misunderstanding. Goes up to the manor. As you go up to the manor, it's... you've seen bigger manors, especially Gilwin. You grew up in the gold district of Goldport. But considering the environment that had to be tamed and whatnot, this sort of red brick and manor is quite pretty. A couple of stories, and very close to it, like 20 feet away from it, is the wooden and stone records building, mostly wood. As you go up to a little porch, that guard talks in another one in a hushed tone. And you are allowed into an opening foyer where you can see stairs going up around one corner. And it's sort of very clean, a little sterile, some pieces of art. While the servants of the household rush to try and find the lady. It takes a couple of minutes for her to walk into the room from her study. Lady Kilraven is Tranite. Her dark skin does not contrast at all with equally dark hair that's kind of short and sharp. She is wearing not exactly extravagant clothes. It is sort of armors and leathers, but it kind of similar to Gilwin's old equipment. It's kind of got a little bit more fashion to it. High boots, a lot of gold filigree and similar things that you would see around wealthy Tran merchants and things like that. And very clearly a rapier on her side that she's clearly strapping into its holster, because she was just told that there's a bounty hunter here with her bounties. When she looks over the four of you, her eyes are a piercing blue. And then she looks to Gilwin, and then Vale. Which one of you is the Gilwin Galagir, then?
He cannot talk as he is currently enchanting these two criminals, but this here is the Gilwin Galagir.
Well, how impressive. Both the Princess of Sin and the whore's daughter in front of me. Well done. How did you do such a thing?
Which one is which?
She just smiles, shakes her head. Really, it doesn't matter. The same amount of gold for both.
Well, you see, it happened simply. Gilwin is from Goldport and has some connections. And so, just like fishing, we decided to chum the water. We knew they were around, and we had the men from Goldport fire a net at them. We knew instantly that they would enter into a feeding frenzy aboard the ship where we were waiting. And we caught them there.
She looks at you, spinning a copper coin in her fingers. You kind of see little bits of gold magic sort of flick off of it as if the coin is going from being copper to gold. And she smiles a bit more. Why don't we come into my study and we discuss this a little bit more and find your payment? Come this way. And kind of steps aside for you to walk down a slightly twisted hallway.
I am not sure that is possible. I am not given leave by my liege to negotiate payment.
You're all going to come.
Yes, but we still can't negotiate until, you know, the whole spell thing.
Yes, that's very fine. Keep doing your spell.
Okay.
I do business in my office. It's a very comfortable room. We'll have tea brought up, or would you prefer coffee?
I would not like anything, thank you.
She leads you into her office, a resplendent room with much more art, a writing table with expensive equipment on it, and a large clay statue around 8 feet tall, sort of vaguely of a woman, but not quite started, not quite finished, with copper pieces in its eyes. And she will sort of rest against what's obviously a quite comfy lounging chair with other chairs alongside. You caught these two with a net.
Not as such. The men fired a net at them, at which point they boarded the ship, and we caught them with an enchantment.
So, it's the magic continuously being played that controls their minds.
Yes, Gilwyn's mother was a master of illusion magic, and as such,
Really?
he has generated a form of magic that is impossible to detect. This is how this spell works.
Serena, she absolutely knows. In fact, she keeps looking at Gilwyn, twisting the coin in her hands. You can actually tell she's reading his mind and can know that he is not casting a spell.
Okay, well, I am going to, as quietly as I possibly can, just use message. Well, that is message. Just just as subtly as I can while her attention is away, because her hands would have just slightly raised her hand, like she's like hidden behind Vale and Gil or something, and she just raises her hand, runs a finger across her lip. There's a bit of a trail of shadow, and she whispers, directed at Vale, and Vale hears the voice in his head. She knows she's reading Gil's mind.
Can you give me a sleight of hand check, please?
Here goes for that one.
Ooh, she didn't notice. It was close.
Can I just, so hearing this, there's a reason she's taken us through to this room, and I believe it's that fat old golem behind her.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me an Arcana check to see if you recognize it?
But like, either way, I'm considering having Vale just take a few steps forward, nonchalantly chatting to her, and then just whipping those copper pieces out of the eye sockets.
You're not tall enough. You'd have to jump.
I can jump.
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and do that.
Yeah, you can absolutely tell that this is a golem. Other than the dwarven beer cask, you know, this is a much more complete golem you've ever seen. You know that it's a weak form of golem, but still very clearly. She brought you in here
in a small room.
You're in a fairly small room, quite literally backed into a corner.
I would just say I am watching Vale very closely so that I can move as soon as he does, because I'm assuming he's going to do something.
Indira is completely unaware of all the stuff that's going on, so she looks like a real idiot, just like glassy-eyed, like, kind of slack-jawed looking Gil.
I think so.
Do you like it? This is my work of art.
You said there's sofas in this room, right?
There's kind of like a little mini desk, a little mini like coffee table thing with a kind of curved sofa and then a seating chair. Clearly, like they sit there, she sits here.
Could I use the furniture to just like vault up off of onto the eye sockets and pop?
Absolutely. But you'd have to give me, let's say it's a little bit of a contested deck save.
Deck save?
Easiest way to do it.
Okay, cool. Sure. Yes, I have seen something not quite like this before, but it is very interesting. Oh, you dropped a coin, and if she looks down for that, he's going straight away.
Oh, why don't we deal with the ramifications of this after a quick little break and, some burpees?
Did you just burp into the mic?
Yeah.
Gilwyn's anxious.
Count yourself lucky it was a burp.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes.